Yo, look, I know it's been a minute. Listen, the brother's been sick, going through injuries, yada, yada, yada. I know you're not trying to hear all that, but the video I want to start off with, right? Because I had to re-record this because I thought I was wrong. Turns out I was also right. But today, I want to talk about who's the worst Dragon Ball fathers, right? You know, we've seen the memes. Goku's a bad dad. You know, the LARPers who don't watch the show and just go by memes or are just trying to get clicks. We all know that's false, but when we think about the dads in Dragon Ball, right? We're thinking about Goku, Gohan, Krillin, Vegeta, right? But I want to talk about who are the worst dads, and one of those people I just mentioned is going to be in this list. So if you're going to be mad, if you have a mech on the forehead, get ready. But before we talk about the worst Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball franchise dads, please do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, and share. I know I haven't been as active and the year is running out, but I want to continue to try and upload more and be more consistent, and that type of support keeps me motivated. So please join, help us get to 50,000 to 100,000. Just keep believing in your boy, SonTJ. So let's talk about the worst dads, right? So I did a list. Oh, I did a poll on my YouTube channel, and I'll show it on the screen right now. We see my top 4 worst dads is Vegeta in Dragon Ball Z, Paragus either in Dragon Ball Z or Dragon Ball Super, King Cold, and Bardock from Dragon Ball Z. Because Dragon Ball Super, that boy had a plan for Kakarot / Goku. While Bardock, hey, let's just start out with Bardock. So Bardock, he's arguably like top 2 or top 3 worst dads, because the original Z interpretation of Bardock before Akira Toriyama made his changes with the character, Bardock didn't give a single damn about Raditz or Goku. Even in Dragon Ball Super, Bardock barely gives a damn about Raditz. He cares about Kakarot, but he doesn't really care about Raditz. But yeah, he didn't really care until literally an alien hit the back of his head, giving him the ability to see the future, and he saw that Goku made it. It's like the equivalent of LeBron's dad figuring out that LeBron became the greatest NBA player of all time, and now he wants to reach out. This is the equivalent. Oh wait, he takes out Frieza? Okay, maybe actually let me go talk to Kakarot, see how he's doing. But when he saw he had a power level 2, he didn't give a damn. Bardock is definitely, the Z interpretation is definitely one of the worst dads in Dragon Ball franchise history. And we can even talk about how the character that's misinterpreted as being a bad dad, I think, is King Vegeta. King Vegeta is actually a great dad for what he tried to do. This man tried to take out both versions of Broly, either in Z or Super, because it threatened his bloodline for his son. He didn't even care that Vegeta, his son, was stronger than him by the age of like 7 or where the hell Prince Vegeta was before Planet Vegeta was destroyed. He did everything possible to protect Vegeta and make sure that he had a good life. And hell, he probably died in vain. Well, not died in vain, but he died sacrificing himself fighting Frieza on the spaceship to make sure he could protect his son. Funny enough, King Vegeta's a better dad than Bardock. And the reason why I had to re-record this, because I was just thinking like, maybe I was wrong, because I reread the manga a little bit. But I'm like, actually, I'm not. Funny enough, I think King Cold is honestly not that bad of a dad as a villain dad, because he actually cared about Frieza. Like, even if you go by the Toei's animation lore, King Cold apparently spoiled Frieza to the point that Cooler was jealous of it. And he made sure that Frieza had like his whole control of the universe outside of course, Beerus. And even though, like, I reread, oh, maybe I was tripping, even after Future Trunks kills Frieza, you know, and like kills him and like so quickly, he was upset, because even though he said, like, you know, I'll adopt you, Trunks, you know, your power must come from the sword, he instantly betrays Trunks because he's trying to get his lick back for his son. So like, either way, he still kind of gave a damn about Frieza. He's still a terrible person, don't get me wrong, but I think he's a better dad than Bardock. he's on the same tier as King Vegeta, funny enough, actually caring about his son. But another one, actually, you know, he won the poll for the worst dad, but I think it's a little bit overblown, is Paragus, either in Z or Super, because there is a little bit of leeway you can give Paragus, right? In Z, right, he went out of his way to protect his son against King Vegeta, right? And King Vegeta blasted him away. King Vegeta stabbed his son, and he was there with him when Frieza blew up Planet Vegeta. And the only reason he put that controller on him, because Broly, it's a damn crash out. This man got to the point that he caused the scar on Paragus' eye. Like, it's really much he couldn't do. And even then, when he was trying to take out Prince Vegeta for revenge of what King Vegeta did and all the other Saiyans that on that planet, he was mostly relying on a meteorite to do that. He didn't really want Broly to fight them. So yes, he did try to leave Broly by himself, like when the meteor came by, but Broly was so strong that he would have survived that shit. So like, even though he's terrible, but he's not the worst dad on his list. So far, Bardock is. And for Dragon Ball Super Paragus, it's like around that same vein, because even then, you can say he was more controlling because he was like, you know, electrifying Broly when he was talking to Chi-Lai, and just very controlling. But when he saw that Broly was losing to Goku, he had fear for his life, and he was like, yo, we need to quit this now, and Frieza took him out. So either way, the bar is very low right now. The bar is very low that so far we're dealing with characters that have concern for their sons. Even Bardock, when he got a vision that his son was going to be important, he cared, right? But the worst dad in Dragon Ball, in this version, because I know people like to argue Super or GT, even though Super is canon, yada, yada, yada. I'm talking about the original Dragon Ball Z manga run. Vegeta is the worst dad in Dragon Ball history. Now, hear my case. McDonald forehead leaders, please listen to my case. Vegeta off rip already took Bulma from somebody, you know what I mean? It is what it is. And I can make an entire video about Bulma being a giant bird. Because even when Yamcha died, Bulma was already hitting on Zarbon when she already had a man that she was trying to bring back from the dead. So I can't even believe what Akira Toriyama said, oh yeah, Yamcha's the cheater, Bulma's the cheater. But regardless, right? So, you know, Vegeta, you know, being Vegeta, knocks up Bulma, doesn't really give a damn, and he goes trains and after he sees Future Trunks come in, slice up Frieza, he doesn't know that Future Trunks is his son, obviously, so but he's super jealous of both Goku and Trunks, and he uses that motivation to turn Super Saiyan, comes back, saves Kakarot, and you know, he has his victory lap over Android 19, right? But Future Trunks comes back, and unfortunately, Bulma follows Future Trunks. And this is where we have the most heinous parent act ever. I don't give a damn how you feel about, oh, Goku gave Cell a Senzu bean. At the end of the day, Goku was right about how powerful Gohan was. He ended up being correct. The only thing he was wrong about is Gohan's love for fighting. And people love to just lambaste this man for that. But Goku saved Gohan's life twice, sacrificed his life for Gohan twice, yada, yada, yada. Nothing compares, and people always forget this, that when Android 20, aka Dr. Gero, shoots down Bulma's plane, and Vegeta gave no fucks. Bulma and Present Trunks was going to die right there and then. It took a freaking future alternate timeline version of his son to save both his future wife and present son. And then when Trunks checks this man about why you didn't save me, Vegeta proceeds to punch this nigga in the chest and says, tighten up, little nigga, and flies off. That is the worst dad shit ever, bro. Like, and even like to crack jokes of people saying like, oh, Piccolo's a great dad. I always crack a joke that Piccolo threw Gohan a mountain, and if Gohan didn't use his potential, that boy's gonna die to that mountain. That is the worst. That's one of the worst parenting things ever. Even King Cold wouldn't have done that shit. Like, even Bardock would have done that shit once he learned that Goku was important. Like, he knew that Future Trunks was his son, right? So fast forward, even after doing that, right, Trunks goes out of his way to protect Vegeta after Vegeta does his Vegeta thing where he's going to challenge the androids by himself, gets his arm turned into a toothpick or to a bent back paperclip by Android 18, and, you know, gets his pride hurt. And then Trunks is waiting for Vegeta to talk. So Vegeta stares off to space for 3 days because his pride is hurt. And it takes to Goku suggesting both Vegeta and Trunks to go in the Hotbox time chamber together and train. But guess what, nigga? Vegeta proceeds to be the main reason why the entire arc turns the way it does later on. Because for one, both Trunks and Vegeta both learned Super Saiyan Grade 2 and Grade 3. But guess what? If Vegeta actually trained with Trunks, unlike the Kakarot filler where they try to make it seem like Vegeta somehow, some way trained with Trunks, if Vegeta actually trained with Trunks and taught with Trunks that the Super Saiyan Grade 3 form was a bad idea, maybe the arc would have worked out better. But no, he doesn't train with Trunks. He trains completely by himself. He only uses Trunks' name as just a leeway to bring up himself and how powerful he is and his bloodline is. And he proceeds to beat down Semi-Perfect Cell, but allow Semi-Perfect Cell to goad him into seeing his strongest form. It takes till Trunks actually beating Vegeta down to the point he knocks him to the ocean for Vegeta to gain some type of little respect. And even then he comes back, gets destroyed by Perfect Cell, And like, again, right, if he just would have trained with Trunks, a lot of things would have done better. With maybe Trunks would have had a better chance against Perfect Cell because of his hybrid Saiyan abilities. But no, he doesn't, right? And then we fast forward to the Cell games, and it takes for Trunks to get zero no-scope by Super Perfect Cell after he resurrects himself for Vegeta to give a damn about future Trunks at all. Of course, you know, like, they have their moment when he gets revived, yada, yada, yada. Cool. In Dragon Ball Super, he makes it up to him in a lot of ways, right? But it's not over for the Trunks, because we got present Trunks. Not only did he leave this man to almost die in a plane crash, we see that, you know, he's training with Trunks. He's in a better place. He might be married to Bulma. We know he's married to Bulma by the time of Dragon Ball Super, but we don't really know about the Buu saga. But he's training with Trunks, but he never held him as a baby at all. He never held him at all. And then people get this confused because of the dub. But Vegeta didn't turn Majin because of all his trauma that he went against Frieza and his Saiyan heritage and yada, yada, yada. No, he has a midlife crisis because Kakarot comes back, but he can't fight Kakarot, and he learns that Kakarot is still stronger than him, way stronger than him, and he loses it to the point that he uses the Majin abilities so he can power up and fight Goku. And he literally almost blows up his wife in the same world tournament stage because of ego. He throws away his entire life built, the 8-year time skip or wherever it was in the Buu saga, just because he wanted to fight Goku. Even then, when he tries to do his, let me make it up to everyone that I failed and I did this bad thing, he knocks out Goku and proceeds to knock out his son as a quote-unquote self-sacrifice just for him not to do anything against Majin Buu. Like, it's still funny when you really think about it. The entire Z run, the original manga, he only becomes a good person by the Dragon Ball lore after he's resurrected against Kid Buu. He was still an anti-hero all the way up to that point. Now, but I would say, honestly, again, you can list out different characters. Like, for example, you can argue like the father of Bibbidi is the worst dad, but we never really got to see his parenting in that case. But I would say, like, in terms of a character, but we've seen their parenting on screen, Vegeta is the worst dad in Dragon Ball history after that point. Yes, in GT, he's a way better dad. In Dragon Ball Super, I can still argue like how people really like to criticize Chi-Chi about not allowing Gohan to go to the world tournament, and people saying like, yo, you gotta save the world. And like, he's gotta save the world. It won't be no war for him to study if he doesn't save it. I still argue that Vegeta is doing the whole, oh yeah, I'm not gonna be in the tournament of power because Braw's still not born. Hey, dumbass, like if you don't join the tournament of power, y'all gonna be erased from existence anyway. So like, what's the point of doing the Chi-Chi thing? So yeah, I definitely say the top. I would say if we had to go in like order, who's the worst? I would say Vegeta's the worst. Z Bardock is second. You can argue DBS Paragus is the third. DBZ Paragus is fourth. And you can go back and forth between DBZ Paragus and King Cold. Let me know in the comment section down below who you think is the worst dad in the Dragon Ball franchise. Arguably, of course, the best dad in Dragon Ball history is Krillin. You can argue that Goku's low-key better than Gohan as a dad, because at least when Goku's away from Gohan and Goten, this man was literally dead because he sacrificed his life to save his son. And not to mention, he turned Super Saiyan to save his son, not only because Krillin's about to die. And even when he came back, he was helping Goten, even as a farmer. Gohan, right now, doesn't take care of Pan because he's busy with work, and he allows Piccolo to be pretty much his, like, not gonna say his stepdad, but allowed to be his babysitter. Like Goku only had that happen because he was dead. Gohan is really alive, so you can argue top dads is Krillin and Goku. But let me know in the comment section down below what you think. I'll try my best to upload more. Make sure that like button, subscribe, and share. Please, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Try to keep it fun, try to keep it jokative. And I'm gonna try my best to upload more content the best I can with different subject matters, like with the Marvel stuff, with the boys, even though I'm very late on that. But hey, you know, it is what it is, bro. SonTJ, peace. Love you all.